It's wonderful to have everyone here this morning, and it's wonderful to be back here with you. It just isn't the same watching online. But boy, was I glad that I could be there to have a sense of the last 2 weeks and what was going on in our community. As we finish arriving, let's take 3 deep breaths together to sort of pull us into harmony, to kind of synchronize our community. So inhale and exhale. Each time letting the exhale be longer. Inhale and exhale. And one last time. Inhale and exhale. It is good to be together.
Good morning. Warm greetings to all of you, those here in person, those online, and those who may be watching in the future. I'm Sandy Prinz. My pronouns are she and her, and I'm one of the worship associates this morning along with Katie Yanda, who will be bringing us a special gift this morning. Also participating in our service this morning are our esteemed minister, Reverend Gail Lindsay Mariner, our amazing music director and pianist, Lydia Madrick. We are also grateful as always to all of those people who contribute to making this service possible. The greeters who welcomed you in, those people who came early to set up the welcoming you in, for those of you who came early. The people who come early also to provide the goodies and the coffee. The parking lot safety team. The office staff of Aaron, Mary, and Doug. Charlie Batista, who is the new host for our online viewers. And to Jim Kramer, who refines, that means cleans up, the tape of the service for presentation on YouTube. We give a special thanks again to our tech team, John and Michael and Jim, not only who provide the tech service each Sunday for the services, but who are on call every week for other services, other activities that take place here at UU Santa Fe. Unlike Reverend Gail, they don't get an occasional
Sunday
break. And they're a wonderful group of very talented and dedicated folks who would love to have some help and would love to meet some of you. We hope some of you will speak with them after the service.
That way, none of you will have to be here every single Sunday. So we're not asking you to sign on for every single Sunday. But if we had about 5 people on the tech team, then everybody could get a Sunday off every month. And that would be sustainable.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now please join us in singing hymn 866, Blessed Spirit of My Life. Please stand if you're willing and able.
I guess we need one of those those old-fashioned wooden things that you put yeah. All right. Look for the old tech, not the high tech, right? You want the tech that's just the right level. We'll take it up with our building folks. Our opening words this morning are written by Michelle Collins, a piece titled The Soft, Stubborn Practice. Come to this time of worship, worn, weary, or wide awake. In this gathering, we acknowledge the practice of living, the tender ache of persisting through uncertainty, the courage of continuing when clarity is distant. Yet here we are, still breathing, still reaching, still becoming. Today, let us embody resilience together, not as armor, but as the soft, stubborn practice of returning to ourselves, returning to one another, returning to the work of love.
Those watching online are invited to light their chalices as we light ours. We light it to more words by Michelle Collins. We kindle this light for the work that takes time, the seeds unseen rooting, the tides patient carving, the small turning of heart toward an open ground. We look towards what is slow and true, the steady flame that sustains our days.
So, last Sunday, as I watched online, I heard a request to honor the fallen in Minneapolis with stones in our chalice. We're going to place those stones now as we read the names of those who were shot in the streets and those who died in custody. As we read each name and place each stone, I invite you to repeat after me. We remember you and honor your life. We will not forget you. So I'll say that with you. So, for Renee Good, we remember, we honor your life. We will not forget you. Alex Preddy, we remember you and honor your life. We will not forget you. And Keith Porter, we remember you and honor your life. We will not forget you. Severio Villegas Gonzalez, we remember you and honor your life. We will not forgive you. Eber Sanchez Dominguez, we remember you and honor your life. We will not forget you. Victor Manuel Diaz, we remember you and honor your life. We will not forget you. Paradi La, we remember you and honor your life. We will not forget you. Luis Beltran Yanez Cruz, we remember you and honor your life. We will not forget you. Luis Gustave Nunez Caceres, we remember you and honor your life. We will not forget you. Geraldo Lunas Campos, we remember you and honor your life. We will not forget you. Amen. Katie, come on up. This is a real treat, friends. I got to see it 10 days ago, maybe? I can't wait for you to see what this next piece is.
Good morning, dear hearts. I am Katie Yonda, and it's wonderful to be in this up with you this morning. This is a talk that I gave last week, and it's a Pecha Kucha, which is sort of like a TEDx format, international. It's run by Creative Santa Fe here, if anyone wants to go or apply to be a speaker. And it's in a very specific format of 20 slides. They're all my photos, and then I speak for 20 seconds. So the theme for January 21st, last week, was awe. And Reverend Gale, our Reverend Gale, was so kind to invite me to share with you. When you are asked, where are you from? What do you answer? My answer is always, I am from here. Santa Fe, northern New Mexico, the Valley of Chacon, 40 miles as the crow flies, 2 hours by car. And every day there is a moment of awe. We get to live here. This place, it is woven into my bones. I left and came back as consistently as cranes, never wanting to leave for too long. Family brought me back. Blood brought me back. Rock brought me back. This very dirt, this very sky. Crossing over state lines, it isn't just the sky that opens. Borders are human-made, but there is a different flavor to our sky, to our clouds. You can tell when you are home. My mother just told me my father kissed the ground in 1981 after crossing west over the Mississippi and said never again, I am never leaving again. My first love was words, more recently this love affair with photos, and I devour them by the bucket and try to cast them like incantations against loneliness, the pull of melancholy, or to capture one piece of sky theater. Virga, we live where the rain often doesn't touch the ground, a veil that spins like a spell. Iridescence, the sky spills apricot and tangerine, our daughter in the dress she wore 3 years before in my sister's Arroyo wedding, to our girl's ankles then, at her waist now, lit up orange like the sky. Our maternal grandparents came here in the 1940s from New England, New York, and London, a place that was as far away as their people could imagine, borrowing beauty. And we were raised, the 17 grandkids from their 7 children, amidst teapots, long tables filled with family, and books. We were raised, sometimes, and some of us more than others, in a valley held like a pocket north, running across fields, through barbed wire fences, splintered swings over the river, building mud pies, coming home mud-covered to that long table, privies and cold water, and beans, so many bowls of beans. My brother and I grew up in the solar greenhouses our parents built throughout our northern counties, Rio Arriba, San Miguel, Taos, Colfax, Mora, each name a spell, winter gardens and tomatoes held like apples, sources of food and heat, the taste of sun-warmed fruit held tight in toddler hands, and the face of my beloved mama with her first sip of coffee. Hot drinks have clearly always been one of our family's many love languages. After her stroke, I make it for her every morning, as she made it for me daily before and today. How many more houses would I have to build before I know how to build just one? The adobes of my uncles and mother, fathers and aunts, lifted and shaped and pulled from the ground. Hands in the earth plaster, hands in the straw, hands on the stone. A feast on a ridgetop, the Truchas Peaks, or was it the Santa Barbara Divide, feeling like the sides fall away just beside us. So much world below, so much of that stone. A cousin opening up the tin containers, homemade pasta puttanesca, coffee rich with cream. The summer after I was a senior in high school, we built another house, this one of wood, 7 of the 17 cousins, my father and uncle. It housed 10,000 stories. A wedding, a honeymoon party, my father's grave beside it, our son, cotton twilight, top of the swing's arc. We were raising our children there. Backs on the scrabbly field, so many nights wrapped in sleeping bags, the sky pouring itself below us. bonfire sparks dancing themselves out, dishwasher tossed, so many stars, deep, deep reverence. Cold, cold fog filling the valley over the May chill as we stand graveside, families, friends, neighbors at the Campo Santo, my uncle placed in the earth, next to his parents, close to his brother. The fires burnt so much of the north, whole towns, hillsides, valleys, ridges. A friend said, but it didn't reach that far. Nothing was burned in Chacon. Many things burned in Chacon, and one house. Just a stone's throw away from where our family stood, the one built of wood, with so many cousins, the earth still scarred and empty, teen-age aspens, green in their enthusiasm, pushing up from the burn. Bits and bites of magic. Driving home from the valley with my mama, a white horse framed by the Las Trampas Church, the one that holds centuries of human stories, and a short, funny film my father was in 40 years ago. The devil was a patent attorney. Entering my church, my temple, amidst the gods of small and big things, the most beautiful grove of aspen in the world, a heart carved on one tree, taco cat on another, trunks breathing up, up, up to their gold, gold crowns. It is a borrowed and stolen beauty here, stolen and borrowed, each step of it. The dirt roads I bounced along with my sweetheart as we tried to induce labor for our first babe. The paths I walked with my grandmother, her dog swimming like fish around her, as we made our way home to tea. Here, we live here. Where is your temple? What is your church? Where sucks you down, marrow from your bones, and says, whether or not you feel you belong, this beauty is vast, and there is, perhaps maybe, enough for us all.
So somewhere in the back of our hymnal, there is a reading from Dag Hammarskjöld. During his time as Secretary General of the UN, this Swedish diplomat wrote in his journal, "Each day we must hold out the chalice of our being to receive, to carry, and to give back." Hammarskjöld thought that we needed to make sure our chalice was empty when we held it out each morning, and so that we could fill it with whatever the day brought that was good and beautiful, and that we were to pour out those gifts each day before the end of the day. And so it matters what we use to fill our cups. There's a story, I think I've told it before, about a person wandering through a crowd with her coffee cup and her coffee. and being jostled by someone, and of course the coffee spills everywhere. And someone looks at her and says, "Why did you spill your coffee?" And she says, "Because so-and-so bumped me." And the friend says, "No, you spilled your coffee because it was coffee that you had in your cup." So think about it. When the world jostles us, we are going to spill whatever we have in that chalice of our being at the moment. Coffee, or fear, or hate, or hot chocolate, or compassion, or tea, or exhaustion, or delight, or excitement, or humor. It matters what we choose to fill our hearts and minds and souls with, because what we choose and what we carry will be what we spill out. And we can choose, much of the time, what it is we will carry, regardless of what is streaming on our news feed at the moment. Katie's Pechakucha slideshow on awe reminds us that beauty and family and nature and community are ways to fill the chalice of our being with joy and connection and love, all of which are soul nutrients, all of which are things that support our well-being and sustain the people around us. Now, in his book, Awe, which is there at the foot of the pulpit to the side, subtitled "The New Science of Everyday Wonder and How It Can Transform Your Life," psychology professor Dacher Keltner identifies 8 different experiences that elicit the emotion we call awe, which he defines as a feeling of being in the presence of something vast that transcends your current understanding of the world. Awe, he argues, elicits other pro-social feelings and actions, and we saw some of those in Katie's slideshow. Keltner calls them the 8 wonders of life, 8 things that fill the cup of your being with wonder and transcendence and motivate you to share those things with the world. Keltner's categories were arrived at from a study of 2,600 narratives that they elicited from people writing about their experiences of awe. So they gathered all of those narratives and then they sorted them, right? So I'm going to take you through the 8 categories they arrived at, starting with the ones that were slightly less common and moving to the one that was most likely to elicit awe from just about anybody. So number 8 for inducing awe is the experience of having an epiphany, those deep moments of insight and understanding. You've had these. Sometimes they happen in the middle of a conversation with someone where you're on the same wavelength and you go places you never would have arrived at by yourself. Sometimes you've been mulling over a problem and suddenly something shifts and an answer becomes obvious. Sometimes it's like when the last piece of a puzzle slides into place. Epiphanies offer a frisson of awe at a deeper understanding of this reality that we inhabit. When was your last epiphany? Keltner reports that we typically have an experience of awe about twice a week. Not necessarily big awe, but kind of everyday awe. So number 7 is the recognition of being alive and having to die. This also moves us to awe. People report awe at the birth of a new life. They report awe when they companion someone in death. experience of life and death leave us feeling both intense aliveness and a deep awareness of life's preciousness, fleetingness, and fragility. When did you last bump into your own mortality? When did you last have a moment of being intensely alive? Religious and spiritual encounters are the sixth source of awe. With their synchronized breathing and movement, their singing and chanting, their stories and rituals and layered meanings, all of these help us feel a part of something that is big and long-lasting. I had a moment of that last Thursday night, standing in the packed sanctuary at First Presbyterian at the Thursday night vigil in support of immigrants and in support of Minneapolis, holding my candle with the rest of the room and singing, "We Shall Overcome." Music, architecture, light, moving together, it was all there. Visual design can spark awe. It's the fifth thing. Think cathedrals, pyramids, beautifully crafted objects, from works of arts to instruments to finely crafted tools to mind-boggling feats of technology. And then there's music. Who here can be moved to awe by music? Most hands should probably go up. I know people who create soundtracks to orchestrate their day-to-day life. I have known people who travel vast distances on pilgrimage to hear a particular piece or to attend a particular festival or concert. Music is a beloved source of wonder and awe and emotional immersion and deep connection. Think for a moment about which music moves you to awe. Here in New Mexico, we are immersed every day in the third most common source of awe, the spectacular natural world, which includes everything from the vast night sky and the terrifying thunderstorms to the intricate beauty of lichens and ferns, to the intimate purr of your cat and the infinitesimal microscopic folding of the proteins in our cells. What part of the natural world moves you to awe? Communal effervescence, which is that sense of being part of the crowd, rising in synchrony at the end of the performance and bursting into applause, or roaring approval, or singing and swaying together to the music, the feeling that overcomes you when you are marching and chanting at a protest or wailing and crying together in anguish. This also moves us to awe. But the most frequent experience that leads people to awe is witnessing other people's courage, kindness, strength, or overcoming. What Keltner identifies as moral beauty, to which we will turn in the second homily.
Each Sunday, we place 4 stones in our candle bowl to remind us of 4 deep commitments. The mountain-shaped stone prompts us to imagine a world where this place that we gather, called in Tiwa Ogapoge, White Shell Water Place, is the ancestral home of Tiwa-speaking people and their descendants and requires care from all who dwell here. The geode reminds us that in the worst of times, the seeds of peace are within each of us, and that we must join with other good-hearted people to actively tend them. The ancient fossil-studded stone helps us remember that this land was once an ocean and may possibly become one again. Climate change is real, and we must act together to care for this planet where all of us belong. The stone banded with quartz that seems to divide it actually holds it together. May it help us imagine a time when differences between us are understood as boundaries that connect us, and that our active support of democratic processes can ensure that all of us thrive. May these commitments guide our actions.
So most Sundays we set aside a few moments for the sharing of our sorrows and joys. We know that within this community, joys that are shared are multiplied, and sorrows that are shared are easier to bear. Lynn Christensen texted me last night and asked for a candle of memory and sorrow at the death of her brother Eric last week. We hold you in our hearts, Lynn. Katie, Susan, Chris, and Lizzie honor their beloved Ruth Ann Norris on the 30th anniversary of her death. She is clearly still beloved. And prayers for Tom, part of my Seattle family. He fell as in hospital with a fractured spine. Oh, let us send love and energy to Tom. We always acknowledge birthdays. The rule here is that the very young and the increasingly elder get their birthdays recognized. So, Sally Szabo, Leslie Rambeau, Peggy Siegel, Lydia Madrick, Nancy Malmuth, and Rob Thompson all celebrate birthdays this week. Rob is in the lead by a long shot. He turns 101. Yeah. Please stop at the card writing table in the foyer and sign his giant birthday card, and we will deliver it to him in person. We also delight in the fact that we have so many visitors who come and join us on a Sunday morning when they are in Santa Fe, or who are neighbors and are checking us out to see if they'd like to come back again. Welcome to you all. As I read your name, if you would like to, go ahead and raise your hand and wave. And if you're not moved to do that, that's okay too. So we have Gil and Suzanne DePaul, who are from Santa Fe. Welcome. We have Sarah. We have Victor Nelson. Hey, Victor. Amy Brunel and Karen. Amy is from St. Paul, Minnesota. Our hearts go out to you. And Karen, who is from Tucson, welcome. And Lizzie from Santa Fe and Chris from San Francisco. Welcome to you all. We are glad you are here. We hope you will stay and have a cup of coffee and some nice things to eat after the service. So let's light one more candle, if you would, for the joys and sorrows we have heard, but also for the joys and sorrows that we carry in our hearts as yet unspoken. And now the gray hymnals are out. We're going to sing Spirit of Life, which is number 123, if you need the words. Resting now on the echoes of the music, let's move into a time of quiet and contemplation. I invite you to close your eyes if that is comfortable for you, to take a deep breath, and as you exhale, to let your body relax. Breathe and let your thoughts drift. Breathe and feel your heart begin to unclench. Let it soften and open until it can cradle all the sorrows and all the joys, all the confusion and complexity, all of the beauty and love and anger and despair, all of the things that are part of being human in our time. Breathe. And as we rest together in this safe, quiet place, know that you do not have to carry any of this alone. Let yourself be aware of all the other people in the room and of those watching online, and feel yourself connected by affection and respect and care. Breathe. And as we settle into the quiet, I want to offer you a prayer written by my colleague, the Reverend Ali Casey Bell, who serves our congregation in Las Cruces. And he writes, Spirit of love and justice, because we know these two must be held together if we are going to get where we're going, be with us now. In a time when so much is changing, unimaginable, horrific, multiplying by the day, give us the strength not to turn our heads, but to lift our voices, our bodies, our very selves, to keep bending the moral arc toward thriving, toward equity, toward care for all. Help us examine and act on what we are learning, not only about the world, but about ourselves, about how we shape, echo, and amplify the noise of division. Turn our voices, turn our habits, turn our silence until what once divided us becomes a song of resistance. Settle us out of our minds and into our hearts so we may release whatever keeps us disconnected from one another. We cry out, how long? And we answer back, now, and in the past, and into the future, because justice does not take a break from tyranny. Fascism cannot change the face of compassion. Equity will not surrender to the false comfort of the inequitable. Let us remember that hope has feathers, that it takes wing not because it is naive, but because it is present and active and alive. And let us rest not in complacency, but in truth. We are survivors, we are thrivers, and we will not stop until the work is done. Amen. Ashe. Blessed be.
The reading is from Rosemary Watola Tromer, called Safety Net. This morning I woke thinking of all the people I love and all the people they love, and how big the net of lovers. It felt so clear, all those invisible ties, interwoven like silken threads, strong enough to make a mesh that for thousands of years has been woven and rewoven to catch us all. Sometimes we go on as if we forget about it, believing only in the fall. But the net is just as real. Every day, with every small kindness, with every generous act, we strengthen it. Notice, even now, as the whole world seems to be falling, it is there for us as we walk the day's tightrope, how every tie matters.
As Unitarian Universalists who strive to be responsible human beings who care for our world and our community and our democracy and our neighbors, as people who understand that looking away from suffering betrays the victims of harm and magnifies the injury, as people who try to keep our hearts and our eyes open as we try to stay present to all that is going on, we can inadvertently fill our cups with poisonous ideologies, with the toxins of hate and the craving for retribution and punishment. When we are confronted with example after example of human beings acting in ways that violate our deeply felt sense of right and wrong, when we are unable to stop that harm, when we are the direct victims of such harm, in all of these cases, we can experience what theologian Rita Nakashima Brock calls moral injury. A wound to the conscience and the soul. In moral injury, the victim and the witness and the person who is unable to stop the harm and the person who caused the harm are all wounded, and their cups fill with pain and with suffering. Our cups fill with pain and suffering when we witness moral injury, moral harm. And then when we're jostled by the ordinary comings and goings of the world, that pain can spill over and splash onto the people around us. And so the suffering spreads. We are living in a time of deep moral injury. And we are also living in a time of profound moral beauty. Just as moral injury is caused by behavior that wounds the soul by violating our deeply felt sense of right and wrong, moral beauty is occasioned by witnessing other people behaving in ways that affirm our sense of what is right and true and compassionate and courageous and good. Keltner defines moral beauty as exceptional virtue, character, ability marked by purity, goodness of attention and action, seen in other people's courage, kindness, strength, and overcoming. He found moral beauty as consistently across cultures as being the most powerful elicitor of awe. The 200+ Unitarian Universalist clergy colleagues who joined the throngs of clergy and lay people in Minneapolis 10 or so days ago are exemplars of moral beauty. The 90% of the population in Minneapolis who are not people of color and who have stepped forward to help their neighbors are also examples of moral beauty. The ones standing in the cold, keeping watch with whistles and cell phones. The folks bringing hot chocolate to watchers and food to those who are sheltering in place. The people driving carpools and offering other kinds of mutual aid. The folks organizing and getting the word out and sending money. The ones knitting red wool Norwegian resistance caps. The ones who are singing in justice choirs and hosting neighborhood potlucks, the politicians who are speaking out, the judges who are holding to the law. They are all carrying courageous, heartbroken examples of moral beauty. They are heart's ease and the balm in Gilead. In the face of daily moral injury, good-hearted people are dressing the wounds of conscience with deep kindness, offered from the core goodness at the heart of one person to the core goodness recognized as residing in another. And it makes a profound difference. Acting from our values, embodying compassion and justice, equity and love and generosity. This is moral beauty in the face of moral injury. And it is the light that casts out the darkness and the love that dissolves the hate. And it fills the chalice of our being with steadfastness and with hope. In the days ahead, as the chaos of the world continues to roil around us, I invite you to keep your eyes and your heart open, to fill your cup with awe from scholarly epiphanies and music and art and the preciousness of every life and the glory and resilience of the natural world and the joy and tenderness of collective action and human community. Fill your cup with moral beauty. And when your heart is full and that cup of your being begins to overflow, turn toward the suffering of your neighbor and the suffering of our democracy, and let the goodness that fills you spill over to ease your neighbor's pain. May it be so. We're going to sing in the Teal Book, number 1020. So imagine the signboard up here, 1020, 1020. Woah ya ya. And this was a little tricky. Anytime there's a place with two dots, you sing the same part again. Please rise as you're willing and able. Please be seated. All right, let's see. Where is Rod Morgan? Come on up, Rod. Let me say a few things about our First Sunday Giving recipient. There is a lime green envelope somewhere near you for our First Sunday Giving recipient. Our First Sunday Giving recipient this month is Chaplain Joe's Street Outreach. Many of you will remember Chaplain Joe died back in November. He had for years worked through Pete's Place and then back out in his own ministry, going into the arroyos and the mountains and finding the folks who were sleeping rough and who were, for whatever their own very good reasons, unable to come into town for assistance and shelter. And before he died, Joe filled, I think, at least one, if not two, storage spaces with sleeping bags and tents and socks and non-perishable foodstuffs. And he trained a team to carry those things out to the people he served. Katie and I reached out to Chaplain Joe's ministries, and they've been busy. You know, it was really cold out in Santa Fe the last 10 days, and there's a whole lot going on at the legislature, and I don't think they've checked their email recently. But it's because they're doing the good work. So, if you are moved to support Chaplain Joe's memory and his outreach to those who are most vulnerable, some of those who are the most vulnerable in our community, I invite you to put a bill in that green envelope, a 1, a 5, a 10, a 20, a 50, whatever moves your heart, and then place it in the offering basket when that gets passed. And now Rod Morgan from the Program Council is going to talk to us a little bit as we do the words for the offering.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Rod Morgan.
You can stand up. There you go.
I'm a member of your Program Council, and I just have two announcements this morning. One is about the UU Santa Fe Odyssey Men's Group, which was started 24 years ago by our past Reverend Webster Kitchell. And we encourage membership for participation, but we don't require it. As stated in our covenant, we gather for fellowship, mutual support, moral centering, and spiritual growth. We hold meetings, share activities, gather for yearly retreats, this year at Ghost Ranch in October, and share from the heart. We meet the first Tuesday of each month in the evening from 7 to 8:30 in the UUS library, and that Tuesday is coming up in a couple days. The other announcement is about Mardi Gras. There are more directory photos today. Come to the end of the foyer, and Bob will take your picture. We'll send you a copy too. It's almost Mardi Gras time, and we need your help with two things. Buy your tickets now to help us plan. $20 for online auction only, $30 for online auction and live event on February 14th. Go to the auction website, email Roberta, or see her in the foyer today. Number two, if you've donated and the item is not perishable food, please bring it to the office this week so we can include it in next week's auction preview. And with your following donation, we certainly appreciate everything and anything you can share with us.
relinquish our chalice with words adapted from Reverend Scott Taylor. Trust, friends, that the seeds of new beginnings are always taking place in the awesome New Mexico landscape and in the gathering of families and community. Know there is always a way forward, even if it's not the one you wished it would be. The lights never stay off, friends. Life is too wild for that. For there is something unruly and loving at the heart of it that is always leaking in from the side, wanting us to take its hand and dance. So be on the lookout, beloveds, as we go our way.
If you would please take hands with those who are seated near you and repeat after me. May love and skill be in our hands. May love and courage fill our hearts. May love and wisdom light our minds. May love flow through us and walk among us as we live our lives and work to heal our world. Amen, shalom, namaste, blessed be. Assalamu alaikum, ashe, aho. Please. Thank you for joining us today, friends. We hope that you enjoyed today's service. Please take a little time and explore our website and visit our online welcome table if you'd like to know more about us. Otherwise, we'll see you next Sunday morning. Stay in touch and be well.